know why you don't self-trust? I'm gonna just tell you why you don't have self-trust. It's because you're desperate. You're desperate for connection. You're desperate for someone to see you in your grief. You're desperate that somebody will get it right for you one time. And I'm not talking about with love. I'm talking about with anybody. A friend, a parent, a stranger, a coworker, a therapist. You would even take a comment section. You would take somebody or anybody who could finally look at you and not flinch. You would take anybody because you didn't lose self-trust in a vacuum. You lost it in front of people. You lost it in rooms where your pain was obvious and still nobody held you. So you lost it while you were reaching, while trying, while you were explaining yourself so carefully. Like if you found the right words, you finally be safe. You didn't start out doubting yourself. That's not what I'm saying. You started out hoping somebody will understand you. And when they didn't, you turned that hope into self-erasure. You started translating your emotions into something digestible. You started shrinking your knees down into it's cool. You started cutting your own truth into pieces small enough that other people could swallow them without choking. And that's what brought you here. Not insecurity, repeated non-receipt. Right. Repeated moments where you showed your real face and watched someone else walk away. And that's when you learned the most brutal lesson in the world. You became easy to be around. Not real to be around. Not safe to be around. Not held around others. Easy. You became the version of yourself that costs less. That's what happened. You became the version that didn't ruin rooms, that didn't ask for too much, that didn't make people guilty. And that desperation makes sense. The desperation makes sense now because when you're starving for witness, you'll accept almost anything that resembles it. You'll take crumbs and call it a meal. A half text back, a damn that's crazy, a quick hug, a shallow apology, a moment of affection that evaporates the second you need it again. And because you're desperate, you'll start bargaining with reality. You'll call inconsistency chemistry, neglect space. You'll call silence peace, disrespect misunderstanding, and the bare minimum love. Not because you're stupid. I'm not saying that, but because you're willing to stay connected to something, to anything. And this is what desperation costs you. It costs you your voice. It costs you your standards. It costs you your instincts. It costs you your timing. It costs you your gut. It costs you the moment where you knew something was wrong and still stayed because leaving would have been admitting that no one was coming for you. That's what it is. That's what it costs you right there. Because desperation makes you betray yourself early so you don't have to feel the bigger betrayal later. It makes you volunteer for disappointment so you can pretend you chose it. And that's why you can't self-trust. Because self-trust requires something that desperation would never do. Risk being alone. Desperation would never risk being alone. Self-trust is the decision to stand by, what you know even if nobody joins you. That's what self-trust is. And desperation is asking the world to become your witness so you don't have to be a witness. And that's the part that changes everything right there. Because you're not desperate because you're weak. I'm not saying that. You're desperate because you've been alone inside your own experience for too long. That's why you're desperate. Your grief didn't just hurt. It went unseen. And unseen grief doesn't heal. It turns into bargaining, turns into performing, turns into begging, turns into self-doubt. Because when no one reflects you back to you, you start wondering if you're real. So the resolution is not stop needing people. Anybody who offers you a solution to a problem and goes, stop needing people, that's not healing. That's just becoming colder. So I'm going to give you the true solution right now. Stop using people as proof that you're allowed to exist. Stop using that. Stop giving the room the authority to name you. You walked into that room with a name. I'm just trying to help you right now. Stop asking somebody to validate your pain before you treat it like the truth. Because the need for a witness is human. But the mistake is outsourcing your inner witness to strangers. I'm just being honest with you. That's the switch right there. You don't even heal by killing your desperation. You heal by relocating your loyalty. You stop being loyal to a connection at any cost, and you become loyal to your own signal. Even if your voice shakes. Even if nobody understands that at first. Even if the loneliness burns you alive. I'm just being honest with you, because the most dangerous thing that you can do, is when you've been desperate your whole life, is mean what you say. That's the most dangerous thing you could do. No bargaining, no softening, no permission slip, no performance, just the truth from you. And it's hard sometimes, because the moment that you do that, something to return, not hype, not confidence, your spine. Your spine will come back. Your inner witness will finally come back online. And then you'll realize I don't need somebody to get it right one time for me to be real. I need me to stop abandoning myself every time that the world doesn't understand something. That's self-trust. So get your self-trust back. Because it's not about believing you'll never be hurt again. It's about knowing that you won't disappear to avoid being hurt. That changes everything. So your self-trust is deeply important. And I want to mention this because I was going to do this in a separate conversation, but it's important to understand. A man, when he loses his self-trust, he remembers the first time that it happened. The first time his emotions became too much. And it's tough. A lot of men don't walk around with their self-trust. A lot of women don't walk around with their self-trust. A lot of women will ask you right now, I had this distinct, eternally clear feeling. Was it correct? A woman will really ask you that. And I want you to understand, if you're a man, you really do got to shut the hell up right there. I'm just trying to help you. I'm just trying to help you with that. So we'll talk about self-trust a little more further a little later on because I got some other stuff I want to work on. But I just knew this was an important conversation. This shit really matters because getting your self-trust back is important to even understanding how you can see yourself in the mirror.